Alright guys, good to be back on the channel, albeit for this one video. Um, so for the transfer window for Albion, and if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it about a 6 or 7 so far. Obviously, 2 results, 2 defeats so far, so we can't say it's been a glowing success just yet. But the acquisitions, I think, have been fantastic. I mean, the permanence of Pereira, Diangana, and Robinson, I think, were just fantastic to keep that sort of team sort of together from last season, to sort of keep a core of it together. Some of the other transfers, like Kipre, obviously we've only seen him in the Carabao Cup against Harrogate so far, so I'm not entirely sure on him. David Button, I thought, was fantastic in goal for them in that game. I mean, we haven't seen Conor Gallagher yet. We haven't seen Branislav Ivanovic yet. Gallagher, fantastic prospect from Chelsea. Finding the right place in the team, I think he'll do fantastic. Branislav Ivanovic, obviously, you can't doubt the experience that he's had with Chelsea and all over Europe kind of thing. So far, we've lost 2 games, but that doesn't mean to say we can't, fit these new signings in and new loan signings in anywhere. So, we'll see, but we need a striker. We desperately need a striker. I'd say Deeney, Grant, obviously Slimani's come on the radar a little bit, so but I'm sure we'll get someone in for the end of the window. But yeah, I mean, transfer window, it's not bad so far, but could be doing a little better. So yeah, back for this one video. See you guys around. Take care.
Hi, Nathan here from Talk West Brom. Thank you so much for having me on. What do I make of our transfers then? Well, first and foremost, it makes sense now why we've gone out and got so many centre backs. Like I thought, before the first game of the season, how are we going to fit them all in? But now we're playing 3 centre backs. It kind of makes sense, and especially with the amount of goals we've conceded already, 8. The signing of Ivanovic will hopefully be really important now because he'll give us some much needed experience in Premier League steel. And also Kipre looks like a bit of a beast from Wigan. He looks like he has all the attributes of a good Premier League defender, and imagine he'd have some good sell-on value as well. Now the other end of the pitch, Robinson, obviously I do really like, and I think on his day he can link up really well with Diangana and Pereira. Gallagher, I'm really pleased with, especially if we're not going to get Krovinovic. I think he could be a similar kind of player, perhaps even more physical and good at winning the ball back than Krovinovic. So I think he'll be a really excellent signing, and we'll put pressure on Sawyers. And if we can get either Grant or Niang, that would top it all off. I think we need that pacey, prolific striker. We know Grant can score goals in English football, and he's English and 23, so he might have a high resale value. Yeah, they're my thoughts.
Alright everyone, today I'm going to be telling you who I'd sign for West Brom and how our transfer window has been so far in the 2021 season. So first of all, the first player who I'd sign is, I'll try and get Filip Krovinovic back on loan or possibly a permanent deal, but I don't think we have the budget for it at the moment, as our board is, he's not willing to give Bilic the money. At least we've heard of that anyway. But yeah, he played a massive role in our promotion last season, and I'd love to bring him back. I reckon he would have a decent midfield, a proper good midfield if we had him back after we've just got Conor Gallagher on loan, who's a decent player and all. So we'd have a pretty good midfield with Grady Diangana, Jake Livermore, Matthias Pereira, even Matt Phillips, Conor Gallagher, and then Filip Krovinovic. I don't know if I've already said him, but yeah, someone who I'd also sign is a striker, which is the position we need at the moment. I'd try and go in for the Watford striker Andre Gray, who is not a bad player. I wouldn't. We have been massively linked with Troy Deeney, their player, the Watford player, but I think he's a bit too old in my opinion. I think we need someone who's he's not exactly young. Andre Gray, I think he's about 28, 29, but still a decent player. I reckon if we had him in a striking partnership with the next player, who I doubt we have looked at him twice already, last season and this season, and it's Mislav Orosic. If I was Bilic and, say if we do get a bit more of a budget, I think I'd try and push for Orosic a bit more, as, he can play on the wing and striker, and that is proper good for us. He's pretty quick and all. So him and Andre Gray would be, a decent partnership. He's Croatian, Bilic is Croatian and all, so, they'll go together pretty well. Yeah, so I think he'd do pretty well. Yeah, so that was how I'd sign. And for I've got to say, for the transfer window so far, it's been pretty decent. At the start of it, was all panicking because we were all signing the players. But I think we've got some decent players. I think Capre or Kerpre, whatever his name is. It's a bit weird how to pronounce the name with me. David Button, Dean Garner, new record signing, and Mateus Pereira. So yeah, I'll see you guys if this does make a.
So I think two players that we need to sign for West Brom. Most of them's going to be Carlon Grant, because he's a clinical striker and he scored 19 goals last season for Huddersfield, and I still think that he'll get over the line to West Brom, and I think he'll be that clinical striker who's got pace and the scoring that he can have. But I can't remember how many goals he scored when he was in the Premier League. But obviously we was interested in before, where he was in Chelsea, I believe. But hopefully we'll get him in no time, and hopefully he'll score some goals for us. Another player is Gavinovic, because you can see from last season he played most of the games, and most of them goals were away games as well. But he's still a fantastic midfielder. The passing, the quality as well, fantastic, and hopefully that can go over the line. And the rating of this transfer window, is got to be a 7 out of 10, because Luke Downing, you got to give credit to him. He has made so much, not only steals but bargains as well. And getting Grady Diagano under 80 million is an absolute steal. And getting Mateus Per for like 8.25 million is a steal as well. And you can see them two players scoring two fantastic goals yesterday, even though we lost. And also getting experience as well, like Ivanovic, Button, Conor Gallagher. Hopefully he can get some Premier League experience into him, and also that Wigan defender. And I think he has done a decent job, and hopefully he'll bring them two players, and that will be a 10 out of 10 for me, definitely. But let's just hope we'll do well against Chelsea and get some more players in by the end of the window.
Hi West Brom Fan TV, my name's Lewis, and today I'm going to tell you what players West Bromwich Albion should sign for this season. So, first of all, we need a striker. I mean, Troy Deeney, I've heard we're going for. I feel like he would be great for the squad. He knows the Premier League. He could score in the Premier League, I feel like he would be great. Really great. I've heard we're going for Niang. Now, I've never seen him play. I've heard he's from Rennes in Ligue 1. But if we do get him, hopefully he's good enough for the Premier League. But other than that, we need a defender. I feel like our defence is not up to rate this stage, and I feel like we do need another defender to back up, and I feel like this season's transfer window, I'll give it a solid 7. It would have been a 5, but a solid 7, as we got Grady Diangana, we got him back for £18 million, what a bargain. So, thank you West Brom Fan TV for letting me on your YouTube channel, and come on you baggies for this season.
I think our transfer window's gone quite well, but we still need to strengthen our striker position and get some new fullbacks, because I don't think Gibbs has been that great, or O'Shea and Bartley, and we need to have Button in goal and keeper in defence. If we get Grant, then that's great, because then we actually have a decent striker who can score goals.
To be honest, Troy Deeney will be a really good signing for West Brom. That's someone that I'd like to sign. Reason is because he's very good at holding the ball, and I did see some complaints of West Brom fans saying he only bangs like 8 or 9 goals, but that's more than Callum Robertson will get, even though Callum Robertson is a good player. But for me, Troy Deeney would be a good option for us for holding the ball for Diangana, holding the ball for Pereira. Do you know what I mean? Niang would be a good option for us. Fast player. I did see some YouTube videos about Niang. Currently, Rennes are first in Ligue 1, and I reckon it'll be a good option. So it'll be a good signing for us. A loan deal, obviously. That gives a good option for another striker, maybe Carlin Grant, maybe. Carlin Grant for me would be a good option. We just need a clinical fast striker. Callum Robertson is good, don't get me wrong, but we need someone that's had Prem experience. I know Carlin Grant's had a little bit of experience in the Premier Huddersfield. But for me, Troy Deeney, Niang, or Grant would be a good option. But yeah, in the window, I think the signings are like Diangana and Pereira and all that. I'd rate it out of 8. From the games we played, I do think we did a few more signings just to strengthen the squad. Against Everton, like, I wasn't disappointed with the result. It was really good for the players because we played really, really good football. But yeah, so for signings, Deeney, Niang will be good, and Carlin Grant. Hopefully we can make these signings. Hopefully Bilic does something about it. But overall, in the window, I'd say 8 to 9. A clinical striker will top it off 10.
Right. Transfer window so far. It's been alright. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. We're missing a few key signings, like a striker, maybe a left back, maybe a winger. But all in all, we've made some good additions, and we're clearly strengthening for the future. Whether that's in the Premier League or the Championship, we're preparing for it. And you know what? I'm happy with the signs we've made. Who would I like us to sign? Carlin Grant for definite. I think that we should go for Troy Deeney. I think he'd be something that we've been missing. Sort of a proven goal scorer in the Prem. Scores a lot. Scored 10 goals for a relegated side last season. I think we need a left back. Maybe Rico Henry. Filip Kravinovic as well is a big one. He's on top of Slav's list. He's a fan favourite and he smiles, and he's a fantastic player. The link-up play between him, Pereira and Grady is almost unplayable in the Championship. It'll be fantastic in the Premier League. But overall, you know what? Quite content with the window, but we do need some extra signings.
Hi guys, thanks for having me on West Brom Fan TV. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on Albions signings and who we're linked with recently. So first off, we'll start off with Cedric Kipre. I think that he's a great defender. I think he's very physical, which is something we need at the back. I think Bartley needs to go, and he is the man to replace him. Next, we move on to Grady Diangana. What a player. We all know what he did last season. I think he's a great player, and the fact that West Ham were getting angry about it is big, and he is a good player, and if you ask me, he can be worth £40-50 million in the future. Next up, we've got David Button from Brighton. I think he is pushing on for that first place with Johnston, but I can't see it happening. I think he's just more of a backup keeper. Then we'll move on to Callum Robinson. Great player. I mean, he does know where the net is. It's just whether he's a designated goal scorer that we need, because we do need a designated goal scorer. Branislav Ivanovic, great player, Chelsea legend, of course. He's won many cups, Premier League, experience. He's going to be good for Albion. I think if he starts to play him, it'll be excellent. And Conor Gallagher from Chelsea, I think he's a great player for the midfield. I really do. I think that he is going to be one of our most crucial players this season. And yeah, so thanks for having me on West Brom Fan TV. And go and follow my Instagram. It is West Bromwich Albion News. It would be very much appreciated.
Hi guys, it's Louis from the Backies podcast, and I thought I'd give you my thoughts on the summer transfer window so far, and give you my thoughts on the business and the indeed lack of business that's been going on at West Bromwich Albion. So if I were to give the transfer window a mark out of 10, I'd probably give it a 5 or 6. if we hadn't assigned Dean Garner, it would be a 3 or 4 rating. I mean, Dean Garner sort of saved the window so far anyway. I think that was a bit of a surprise for Baggies fans having him back. I mean, nobody expected West Ham to want to sell him. David Moyes even came out and said that he was the first choice winger at West Ham and that he'd like to keep him, but obviously the board had other ideas. That's nothing that we can help, nothing we're to do with, but we're glad that we got our man in the end. Obviously, a distinct lack of business going on at the club at the moment. A bit worrying signs with some of the players that are being linked with and players that talk as stalling and things like that. Obviously, I'd love to see Grant come in towards the end of the window. I think he's not 100% proven in the Premier League, but I feel like once he has behind him Pereira and Dean Garner and players like that, he's going to flourish. I feel like Lai and the owners need to put more faith in Slaven. Slaven is one of the best managers that we've had in probably the last 5 or 10 years. He is a fantastic manager and needs to be backed by the board. If he's backed by the board, he can give us a realistic chance of staying up and then after that progressing onwards. I feel like at the moment that he's not being given the tools in which to work with. It's not been an awful window, obviously, as I've said, Dean Garner. Kipre is also a good signing. Button, if he's going to come and challenge for Johnson, is a fantastic signing. All for low money as well. Dean Garner, obviously, 12 million rising to 18 with add-ons is going to be a good signing. Obviously proving against Everton that he's got the magic to work at in the Premier League. And also, a big one for me is Conor Gallagher, giving us some much-needed legs in midfield on a loan deal from Chelsea. Hopefully it's going to be fantastic to see him get back in an Albion shirt when he plays, hopefully in the Southampton game. So, as I said, I give it a 5 or 6 out of 10, the window so far. Maybe a 6, probably a 6 if I'm going to have to decide on a particular number. But hopefully I'd love to see a striker come in, maybe in Boing and Colin Grant. I'd love to see Kravinovic return, but I think that's going to be unlikely given the talks have been going on for quite a while now, and he would be here if he was going to, in my opinion. But hopefully the board will pull some money out of their back pocket and we'll be able to back Slaven all the way and hopefully on the way to Premier League survival, which we are in desperate.
Hi guys, just want to thank the boys at West Brom Fan TV for giving me this opportunity to voice my opinions about our transfer window so far and who I'd like to see the club sign by the end of it. So just quickly I'll go through the players who have signed and what I think of them. So we started off with Mateus Pereira, obviously 10 out of 10 signing. It was pretty much done, but we all knew it was going to happen. You know, 8 million absolute steal for him. We can't believe it, to be honest. Like, none of the fans can believe that. That's such a steal for such a good player. Obviously, then we got Kipre from Wigan. Another, it's just 900k, you can't really complain with a young centre-back. Very similar to Ajayi, big, strong, powerful, quick. And I think he's a good signing, so I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Then the day after we signed Dean Garner for 12 million plus add-ons, which I think accumulated to around 18 million. 10 out of 10 signing again. None of us thought it would happen. I think he was the last player I expected us to re-sign if we were going to re-sign anyone. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Great player, great goal yesterday. And yeah, on to Button. Button was a bit of a, you know, nothing transfer, free transfer from Brighton. But he actually played really well against Harrogate. Good bit of competition for Johnson. So I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Then we had Callum Robinson re-signing. It was a swap deal for Burke, so there's no fee involved, which I think is a good deal because Burke was useless. You know, Robinson, I don't know if he's totally Premier League quality, but I think he's much better to have at the club than Burke was. So for that, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Good bit of business. Then we got in Branislav Ivanovic, the 3-time Premier League winner, which I think is another great bit of business. He's 36, yeah, but it's a great bit of experience, which we lost in Barry and Brunt. So I'll give that a 9 out of 10. And to complete the signings we've made so far, Gallagher on loan, brilliant centre mid, and hopefully he'll get some game time. Hopefully he'll play against Brentford, and yeah, nice to see. Would be really good to see him get some minutes in the Premier League as well. So for that, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I'll just quickly go over some of the players I would like to see or what positions I think we need to bolster. So today, or yesterday, I don't know when this video will be released, but we've been heavily linked with Mbayo Niang. Apparently he wants to join the club according to Alan Nixon. I think that would be a good signing on a loan deal, I think, and maybe with an option to buy if we stay up. He's quick and powerful, and hopefully we'll just find the back of the net because he's only 25, you know. We've got a lot of big sort of slow strikers at the moment, you know, Robson Kanu, Austin and Zahor. So yeah, hopefully he'll get in. Obviously Grant, another one. Hopefully he'll get both of them to in, and I think it will make our team a lot more solid. And I'd also love to see a left back, maybe Rico Henry. I don't know if that will happen. Once again, cheers for the boys at West Brom Fan TV for giving me this opportunity, and yeah, see ya.